Hello folks, this is Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing. I want to talk about how to clean a wheel. To most people this would seem rather straightforward. Spray some type of wheel cleaner on it, agitate it, and rinse it off. But unfortunately, of all the years I've been cleaning wheels, a lot of wheel cleaners fall absolutely short of many of the promises that they claim. This particular wheel I have in front of me, it probably hasn't been cleaned in about a month, maybe a little bit longer, and hopefully on the video it will show, but there's brake dust all over this wheel, and you can see it there on my finger. Now, as the old adage goes, there are many roads that lead to Rome, but as a professional detailer, I want to take the quickest road to Rome and get this job done effectively, quickly, and make sure that the tire or the wheel is absolutely clean. And the wheel cleaner I'm going to kind of highlight in this video is made by MEGUIARS. This is MEGUIARS wheel brightener. This is from their professional line. This wheel brightener or this wheel cleaner isn't available on a retail market. It's not going to be something you can go out and buy at Walmart or your favorite parts store. You're going to have to order this online or order it directly from MEGUIARS. But I kind of laugh as I make this video because of all the wheel cleaners I've ever used, some of them, again, just fall completely short of their claims of actually being able to clean the wheel. And some of them just take far too long to get the job done. This MEGUIARS wheel brightener, to kind of start this video off, this is an acid-based wheel cleaner. Now, typically when people hear, whether they be professional detailers or even car enthusiasts, when they hear acid-based, they want to run for the hills. And I kind of laugh at that a little bit. I'm not laughing at the individual, but what I find is that there's so much misinformation, misinformed information about acid-based wheel cleaners and should they be used on your wheel. In my opinion, this is the best wheel cleaner I have ever used in over 20 years of cleaning wheels, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of wheel cleaners that you can spray on here. In fact, there's a wheel cleaner that's on the market now that's kind of hot, and a lot of car enthusiasts are using it. It's a color changing type of wheel cleaner, so when you spray it on, it sprays on clear, and when it starts reacting with the metal and the brake dust on the wheel, it turns red and starts to bleed out of the tire or off the wheel, and that gives you an idea that the cleaner is actually working. Unfortunately, those cleaners just take too long for me. In fact, most of those cleaners on the bottle says it takes 3 to 5 minutes to clean a wheel. As a detailer, that's just too long. That's 20 minutes just in trying to wait for a cleaner on 4 wheels to actually react and break down the brake dust. So I'm going to show you how this wheel cleaner works. All I'm going to do is simply spray it on the wheel, let it dwell for about 30 seconds or so, and rinse it off, and let's see how powerful this stuff is. Now I'm going to let that dwell for about 30 or 45 seconds and let it eat away or break down that brake dust that's on that wheel. And as that's doing that, I want to talk about the reasons why some people just run for the hills or believe that this is some of the worst stuff that you can use on your tire. And I want to kind of hit a point here that that's just not true at all. The issue with the acid-based wheel cleaner, if you use it on a polished aluminum wheel, meaning this particular tire right here, this wheel, excuse me, it's chrome, but it also has a clear coat finish on it, much like the clear coat that's on the vehicle of your car, on the paint. When it comes to polished aluminum wheels, they have no clear coat on them, and that's why you need to polish them by hand, and that can be awfully difficult sometimes. If you used an acid-based cleaner on a polished aluminum wheel, what the acid base is actually doing, you have to understand chemistry. It's not damaging the wheel, it's taking that polished aluminum wheel and going back to an unpolished state, and then you're just going to have to polish it by hand. And I make this point for a reason, because if I come across the wheel that's polished aluminum, doesn't have a clear coat finished in it, but let's say it's completely hammered, it's been months, maybe a year since it's been cleaned, I'm still going to use this cleaner because I need to get the brake dust off that wheel as quickly as I can, and I already know that I'm going to have to polish it afterwards. So this is still a great wheel cleaner for a polished aluminum wheel. depending on how bad that polished aluminum wheel has been neglected. Now, if that polished aluminum wheel is in relatively good shape and there's just a little bit of brake dust on it, then of course I'm not going to make more work for myself and remove all that nice pop and polished aluminum effect off the wheel. I'll use a more gentle cleaner. But if that polished aluminum wheel is completely hammered, I'm still going to use this product because it does not hurt it. It just takes it back to an unpolished state. But it will remove that brake dust that's embedded in that aluminum wheel much more effectively than any other wheel cleaner I've seen on the market. So I simply just let that dwell there for about 30-45 seconds, and all I'm going to do is rinse it off, and let's see how effective it is. Now, to me, I kind of giggle inside and I say to myself, wow, that's pretty cool. All I did was let it dwell there for about 45 seconds. And what that acid-based cleaner was able to do on this clear-coated finished wheel is just eat away at the brake dust. And if I take my finger here and I slightly rub it on the wheel, you'll see there's very little brake dust left. There's just a little bit of residue that's still there from the brake dust. I need to agitate the tire. But just spraying it on there alone and rinsing it off, it's incredibly effective. But now I'll just simply agitate it and see how well it works. And what I'm going to use here is a brush that I'm absolutely in love with when it comes to cleaning wheels because it's incredibly soft and gentle. This is made by Nanoskin. It's a salt and pepper flag tip brush. It's incredibly soft. And what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of cleaner on the brush itself, and I'll go in and start agitating the wheel. And then I'll rinse off. Now, to me, hopefully the video's picking it up, and I'm sure it has, this wheel within just, of course I'm making the video and trying to explain how this product works, and if I wasn't making the video, I could simply clean this tire that's been neglected for about a month or so with all that brake dust on it, in about a minute's time be able to completely clean the face of this wheel and have an absolutely brilliant finish. And that's why, to me, MEGUIARS Wheel Brightener, even though it's acid-based, is one of the best wheel cleaners out there on the market. And again, if you're interested in buying it, you're going to have to buy it. You're going to have to buy it online or from MEGUIARS directly, but it's available. You're just not going to find it at Walmart or anything like that. Now, when it comes to cleaning the wheel, you have to decide as a consumer and as the owner of the car how far you want to detail this wheel. Are you just interested in doing the face of the wheel? That's fine. That's up to you. Then this wheel brightener is going to be absolutely beautiful for that. But as a professional detailer, I want to detail the inside of the wheel barrels as well. So I want a cleaner that can react to brake dust relatively quickly and get the job done. And you're going to need some type of brushes to be able to do that. Now, the brushes that I really like is this. This is actually made by Easy Detail. This brush has the ability to be able to get inside the wheel barrel itself and clean the wheel barrel. And it would look something like this. I would simply spray my acid-based wheel cleaner from MEGUIARS and spray it inside the barrels. And then I'll put a little bit on the brush itself. And then I'm just simply going to go in there and agitate the inside of the wheel barrel and go all the way around. Now, the wheel barrel itself, depending on the car that you own, it may not be accessible. Some of the wheels have so much spoking all the way around the wheel that there's very little gap, and unfortunately you're just not going to be able to get to the inside of the wheel barrel unless you remove the wheel. But for this car here, there's plenty of access through these little ports here between the spokes that allow me to get to the wheel barrel, so I'll go ahead and do that for me or for my customer. Now, this brush here is incredibly effective for about 95% of the wheels out there if they're accessible through the spokes. But sometimes in this wheel here, you've got the rotor, the brake rotor, and then you got the calipers. Now, the calipers and the brake rotors between certain areas of the wheelbarrow can be awfully narrow. This brush is just a little bit too big to be able to get into those tight areas. So there's this easy detail makes a little brother brush to the big one, and this is a smaller brush that allows me to get in the small areas between the brake rotor and the caliper, and it would look something like this. Now I can get into those areas where the bigger brush would not be able to fit, and I can completely detail all the way around the wheelbarrow, even in those tight areas around the rotor and the calipers. Now I'll just simply rinse off. Now, as I said before when I started this video, that there are many roads that lead to Rome. As far as I'm concerned, this is the fastest road to Rome when it comes to cleaning wheels. And now what I have is not only the face of the wheel is completely detailed and clean, but I've been able to get inside the wheelbarrows. And this acid-based wheel cleaner by MEGUIARS allows me to be able to do that incredibly quickly and effectively. And not only do the face of the wheel, but I can get inside the wheelbarrows where a lot of brake dust starts to collect. And because this reacts so well to brake dust and begins to break it down almost immediately on contact within about 30 or 45 seconds, to me, this is the winning combination as a professional. And again, for those of you who have polished aluminum wheels, I understand it, I get it. There's a lot of bad information out there. There's people that will tell you that this will ruin the wheel. Now, one last piece of advice is that if you have an aluminum wheel that's not all that neglected, it just has some light brake dust on it, and you're maintaining it well, then of course it wouldn't make sense to use an acid-based wheel cleaner, because it's going to take all that polished aluminum state away from the tire, and then you're going to sit there for about 35-40 minutes just to polish that wheel. So you have to decide when it's appropriate to use an acid-based wheel cleaner if you choose to use one. If you have a really neglected aluminum tire and it's got brake dust that's it has already started to like embed itself inside the aluminum wheel, I think, in my opinion, you still want to use an acid-based wheel cleaner so you can remove all that brake dust from the wheel and then go ahead and polish the wheel, because you're going to have to polish it anyway if it's been months and it's just been completely neglected. So this will help you. An acid-based wheel cleaner will help you. But again, if that aluminum tire, that polished aluminum tire, is in good shape, then it doesn't make sense to use an acid-based wheel cleaner, because it's going to take all that polished state away from the tire. So you have to decide when it's appropriate for you. But that is, in my opinion, again, I'm giggling inside my head because of all the wheel cleaners I've used over 20-something years. This wheel cleaner is the best wheel cleaner I have ever been able to use. It just gets the job done. So it gets the job done well, it gets it done quickly, and I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. So I hope that's been able to help you out a little bit. This is the best wheel cleaner in my opinion. It looks great, completely clean. And until next time, I appreciate it. Be safe.